With gratitude to Almighty Allah, we thank Allah for giving us life and time to be here this morning to present a memo to this distinguished House. Memo is on the reinstatement of the status of traditional institution in the Nigerian Constitution and establishing relevant bodies to give effect to its national roles. Before I go on, when the Senate President was giving his speech, I was just, kind of said, there's no need for me to come and do any speech here. You already done the presentation for us. So, Your Excellency, thank you very much. You are one of us, you are part of us, and you showed it that yes, you are for us. So thank you, Your Excellency. However, the saying goes, they say to hear from the horse's mouth is equally very, very important. So we here, a small team, comprised of the members of coordinating committee of the council and members of Northern States Governors Forum, who are also been tasked with the responsibility of fashioning out rules and responsibility of this institution, are here with us. On behalf of His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Yahaya Abubakar, CFR, with the chairman of this council and the co-chaired Imperial Majesty, the Oni of Ife, and all the members of National Council of Traditional Rulers of Nigeria, we are here to present the memo. We go to historical background of this institution. Before the amalgamation of the northern and southern protectorates and the Lagos colony to form Nigeria in 1914 by the British colonialists, the various areas were sets of kingdoms, caliphates, chiefdoms, and empires, with various levels of traditional authorities as the basis for governance. Those levels should include the ward, the village, the district, and the emirate. Also kingdoms and chiefdoms levels. In each of those levels, the community leaders presided over and resolved issues as they occurred. That practice was incorporated into the native authority system under the British indirect rule policy. Between the 1920s and 1960s, traditional rulers were very influential and in charge of the native authority administration. Indeed, the Nigeria First Republic regional governments had bicameral legislative arrangement with the houses of chiefs serving as the upper chamber to those of the elected House of Assemblies. The society was at that time progressive, peaceful, decent, and full of beautiful traditions and cultures. Lives and properties were sacrosanct, and accountability and honesty were the hallmarks of the traditional local administration. General Ironsi's 1966 Unitary Government Decree, General Gowon's and General Obasanjo's 1967 and 1976 local government reform decrees, respectively, stripped traditional rulers of their powers and gave same to the local government councils, thereby giving birth to the present day outrageous social and economic ills, including insecurity and corruption. However, prior to these decrees, colonialists needed the institution to consolidate their indirect rule. The politicians needed the institution to stabilize their government, and the military needed this institution to gain acceptance. All the respective levels of government needed them to maintain peace and security. The traditional rulers were always at hand to douse conflicts that the police, the military, and the government officials could not contain. Currently, traditional rulers do not have the constitutional or other legal backing to perform effectively, as they are not even mentioned in the 1999 Constitution. This is a great departure from all earlier constitutions that recognized them and even gave them some functions to perform. Indeed, all the Nigerian earlier constitution gave the chairman of State Council of Chiefs seats in the National Council of State alongside former presidents, chief justices, etc. For example, this is clearly provided for under Section 140, subsection 1, part 1 of the third schedule of 1979 Constitution, safeguarding sanctity of traditional institutions. No community or nation will thrive successfully without due consideration of its historical evolution, customs, values, and beliefs. The Nigerian nation evolved from the amalgamation of several empires, kingdoms, caliphates, and autonomous communities. Those entities were under kings, emirs, and other traditional rulers of varying local titles. British colonialists had to rule through the traditional rulers because they could not tamper with the local administrative system they met on the ground, which evolved over centuries. The First Republic and subsequent military and civilian regimes had to utilize the service of traditional rulers because of their great relevance. Historical antecedents must therefore always be considered when planning for the future. Presently, Nigeria needs to explore all available means of conflict resolution, intelligence gathering, and the containment of insecurities that will complement the conventional security outfit. This could be found in the traditional institution as they are capable of binding their various people together and brokering peace. This will herald a positive change from what obtains presently in the conventional security and justice systems. Control of religious, ethnic, and cultural matters. Nigeria's major areas of conflict today are on religion, ethnicity, and land issues. Before the 1976 local government reforms, which stripped traditional rulers of their powers, there were never any recorded serious incidences of religion, ethnic, or land-related conflicts, where hundreds of lives were lost as a result, as is obtained nowadays. For example, the first major religious crisis in the northern Nigeria, the Metechina riot in Kano, which claimed over 6,000 lives, occurred in 1980. The same Metechina was deported to his native Cameroon Republic in 1950 when he started to create problems in Kano by the then Emir of Kano, Alhaji Abdullah Muhammad Sanusi I. May Allah grant him Al-Jannah Firdaus. He returned later after the reign of Emir Sanusi the first, and then again started to cause problems. He was then jailed in 1973 by the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Yahaya. After his jail term, he was deported again to his native Cameroon, but he returned during the 1979 political era and caused the death of thousands of people. That was because emirs were then asked to hands off security and legal matters by the political authorities in accordance with the 1976 local government reform. Another example is that the first most devastating ethnic conflict in northern Nigeria occurred in Zango Kataf in 1992. Prior to that, several emirs of Zazo Emirate contained the situation in that town several times, particularly in 1959, in 1963, in 1966, and 1974. If the emirs had the security powers they had before, they would have contained the Zango Kataf ethnic crisis in 1992, before it degenerated into full-blown crisis, resulting in several deaths and loss of colossal properties. Legal framework for traditional rulers. Between the 1910 and 1960s, Nigerian traditional rulers were very influential and in charge of native authority and administration under the British colonial indirect rule. They served as the executive, that is the NA Council, the legislative, making any bylaws, and the judiciary, in charge of the NA police, judges, and prisons. This format continued under the First Republic, 1960 to 1966, with additional roles of traditional rulers as members of the regional House of Chiefs and served as the deeper chamber to that of regional House of Assembly. The 1979 Constitution incorporated the function of local government as enumerated in the 1976 legal lines and also established a Council of Chiefs at the state level which had the power to advise the governor on any matter relating to customary law, cultural affairs, internal relations, and security and chieftaincy affairs. The 1979 Constitution also accorded Chairman of the State Council of Chiefs the membership of the National Council of State. However, the 1999 Constitution, totally ignored the existence of traditional rulers and did not find it fit to include even the chairman of the State Council of Chiefs as members of the Council of State. There is currently no law at the federal level or constitutional provision recognizing the Nigerian traditional institution. It is important that the Senate Committee on the Review of 1999 Constitution and by extension the National Assembly as a whole ensure that a constitutional provision is made with a view to creating roles for traditional rulers in matters involving religion, culture, security, justice, and other military matters. Other ancillary matters, The constitutional provision should provide for states to enact state laws to cater for specific peculiar matters relating to traditional rulers in the respective states. In addition, the chairman of the State Council of Chiefs should be recognized by the Constitution as member of the Council of State, as it has been in all the Nigerian Constitution except the one promulgated in 1999. In conclusion, distinguished House, the roles of traditional rulers entail being the custodians of the people's culture, tradition, values, morals, religions, belief, etc. They are conscious of their role as supporters and promoters of government's developmental programs and projects, and is a vanguard in handling communal conflicts and crisis, thereby ensuring peaceful coexistence among the diverse citizenry. They are therefore placed in the best position to handle matters involving religion, culture, security, and other, etc. It is therefore imperative for governments at all levels to respect and safeguard the sanctity of the traditional institution and to insulate them from partisan politics. It is therefore very important to appreciate the unique history and position of traditional institutions in Nigerian society and the patriotic roles they played in the political emancipation of this great country. It is hoped that those in charge of reviewing the nation's 1999 Constitution will duly acknowledge these facts and accord the traditional institution a unique constitutional recognition. Tradition had coexisted and promoted democracy and development in many parts of the world. There is now a historic opportunity for Nigeria to add its unique flavor to this tripartite alliance through the ongoing review of nation's 1999 Constitution. In line with with the above submission, we present herewith the memorandum for the reinstatement of the status of traditional institution in Nigeria Constitution and establishing relevant bodies to give effect to its national role for your perusal. Thank you and God bless. Distinguished Your Excellency, the President and the I don't know whether according to the procedure of this house, I want two of my colleagues to join me and make small comments before we hand over the document. Your Majesty, King Dakoro, and also Ohiri, Your Majesty. Please come up here. No, they'll make a small